This podcast is sponsored by RSA Rock and Metal Fans Facebook page.
Well, let's just, you know what, dude? I had a week break from doing a podcast because of load shedding. Really, just fucked everything. I mean, we know, right? We've been trying to get this podcast now for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, try doing an online test. Jeez. And the worst part was yesterday. Was like, for some reason, out of nowhere, my service provider had load shedding.
Oh,
So like, I had to use my phone as a hotspot.
oh, that's even worse because you go through data like there's no tomorrow.
No, they gifted me like 10 gigs, so like I'm
Oh,
okay.
jeez, that's okay.
Yeah, well, it's 10 gig in the day and it's 20 gig in, which is night owl, which I think is 11:30 a.m.
Right, to like
to
4 or
PM.
something,
Yeah,
or something like that. Yeah.
I don't really use it, so there's like a shitload of it on there, but I can only write between a certain time, so
Well, that doesn't help.
it's stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought online you could just pretty much do it whenever the hell you wanted.
So we did, but it had we had a plagiarism problem. Well, we still do have, but like we have this plagiarism thing where I can be writing and you don't, and I can just like zop what's on the question paper, you know.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
Well, people still do it, you know.
Can you believe it, sir? I guess everybody's looking for a shortcut, aren't they? You know, to just,
Dude, I keep using my books. Like, if I don't know something, I go to my books.
But I mean,
There's
what the
nobody
fuck?
watching
What the
me.
hell is a book there for if you're not going to use it then?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I
exactly.
mean, you know.
Or going to like Google. Like, I Google sometimes shit.
Dude, I use Google all the time, man. If I can't think about something, I'm like, how do you spell that fucking word again? You know, Google, type in the word and you spelt it right anyway, you know. What a dumbass thing.
Same.
But we're finally getting the podcast done. Woohoo!
Yeah, finally.
Jeez, dude. Okay, right. So okay, we had a bit of a hiccup when we first started talking. We were like,
Okay.
you sent me some files, and it's like, okay, cool. This is weird. Like, and I'm listening to this. I'm listening to this Afrikaans like ballad kind of acoustic vibe. It's like chilled, and then I'm like, I click over to the next song, and it's just some random artist that wasn't even you. And I was like, fuck, dude, this is amazing. What the hell? How did this come to be? In the meantime,
Then you clicked on one, was probably like the shittiest.
but it isn't. I mean, that's the nice thing. But every single artist that I've spoken to, vocalist, their speaking voice is completely fucked up, weird, compared to their singing voice.
Yeah, mine's higher than my speaking voice is lower than my singing voice.
How is that? Because I'll be honest with you, your speaking voice is pretty sort of like high. It's on the high end.
Yeah, it's not that high, but still, like, it is high for a male. But so what I did when I went for vocal lessons, I don't know if you know the girl from Evanescence. She does the same. She does the same.
What's her name? Amy Lee, isn't it? Or
Yeah. Amy something like.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's called speech level singing. So it's drama singers use it, opera singers use it. So it focuses on like the pitch your voice is actually in, and then working from there. Like, I can't really sing that low, but I can if I have to. But I can go really high if I have to, which I don't really like doing. But it's more using like the way you talk to sing, and also going from your tonality of what you already have in your voice.
What is the highest pitch you can get, or the highest note?
I've got no idea. I haven't done an assessment in like weeks. I stopped vocal lessons.
Okay.
It's expensive, man.
Oh, okay.
It's
Well, fair
expensive.
enough, yeah.
And I went to college. Like, that's I did it like for 3 years. Like, what's more is there to learn in 3 years? I think after like you've done it for a certain amount, you have to stop, and then you go like, okay, I'm gonna go and keep doing it myself, because I do repeat all the exercises the lady gave me. So
Is that are those exercises to strengthen, or is it just to maintain?
strengthen, maintain, and better. Like, so the one thing we were working before I stopped was getting higher and higher with my voice, to do like a whole rocky thing and make me be able to do any cover song I want. But I didn't want to do that too much. But like, yeah.
So,
anyways,
I mean, you listening to your stuff. Okay, you've recorded what, like 3 or 4 songs, right?
yeah.
Okay, so where do you think you're
Five
gonna
songs.
5 songs? Okay, where do you think you're gonna be heading off? What sort of direction? Because you say you don't
Well,
want to do the whole Rocky thing. So where do you go from here?
so the one thing with me is if you look at that EP, weirdly enough, you have 4 of the same songs, and then like this. Okay, the second song on the EP is a rock song. So we've got a couple of those in which are full band. Then we've got the more acoustic stuff, and then we have like a bit of a play between, like we have this full band vibe, but it's more like a Damien Rice full band vibe. You know, like it's more focusing on the lyrics. So my music is about lyrical content, not about sound. So the lyrical content has a message which I'm sending out, and not everybody's going to be listening to that, but I think if you do enough PR and enough messaging to tell people, hey, listen to the lyrics, they'll listen to the lyrics. And
Yeah.
it's more like I listen to a lot of different music, so you're gonna hear every one of the sounds that influenced me, you're gonna hear in the full album, which we're planning for possibly 2021. It looks like 2022 if I see how the year's going, budget wise, and just like having to sort out this mess 2020 has left me in.
Yeah, COVID hasn't exactly helped anybody. It's done no favors for no one. But I mean, what
You
is?
have to play the gigs again.
Well, yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. So, what is the process then to get that recording done? Is it going to be gigs first, earn a little bit of money where you can? Is it studio time that you're aiming towards, or is it home recording? What is it?
So we do everything ourselves. Well, most likely me, because it's my project. I do everything self. But then we go to Johan, who plays drums for me at Jamrock Music Academy in Bruggenfell, which is a music school, and we can only like record on Saturdays when everybody's out. Where I would really like to maybe book a studio myself that has Ableton on their computers and just like do it myself and use their mics. Because at the moment we're not doing it really at a conventional way. Because we just use 2 mics in the scary shit. To like, and eventually we only use like the 1 mic's sound, which isn't the best way to record drums. While we're going to be recording drums for a new song in 2 or 3 weeks, but we're going to be using a mixer, and then from the mixers out, so we're sending it to the interface, which isn't also the best thing to do because I can't do every channel then, you know. So definitely getting away from these unconventional methods and then going like, okay, let's figure out something. Tracking guitars isn't difficult. I can do that here because we've got amp sims and everything. I do vocals in my room. We do bass here in my room. So yeah, it's more like the drums that are an issue. Not because the drummer's bad. He's actually good.
Have you not actually thought about getting a drummer to do the whole program drums? As long as it can be replicated live, that's the main thing, I guess.
You can. So what we want to do is we want a MIDI drums in as well, like from an electric kit. But we can't find like the perfect kit, like the school has, that we want to use. And there's too much paperwork if I want. It's not really paperwork, but it's too much of a hassle for me to go borrow somebody else's electronic kit and having to look after it. I'll rather go to a studio, like, and I have my methods of doing it for cheaper. I've got friends with studios, so like, it won't be like
it's not what you know, it's who you know.
Yes, definitely. But definitely, like, that's what's taking so long. It's not necessarily I still have to go catch up the gigs I missed in 2020. Out of a business point of view, you have to. But also, it's more about getting a professional thing out there. I can't do something half-assed, you know, like this EP was done half-assed, so...
But it was received quite well, though. You're telling me...
Weirdly, yes.
Yeah, how did that happen? Was it a joke? Was it a dare? Or what happened there? Spotify like exploded or something?
So what happened was when lockdown hit, when the president first spoke on the 16th of March, a week later, or 15, I can't remember, a week later, I was supposed to play Bohemia Stellenbosch, which was one of my dream gigs. And I had to cancel that. I was like, oh gosh, okay, what am I going to do now? So I went onto Google and I was like, okay, how am I going to live stream on Facebook? And I did that. And everybody kept tagging me in like these Facebook posts of pages and people and venues that say, hey, drop your links here. And I was like going, of course I'm going to drop my links here. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
and I've dropped my links, and the thing exploded. Well, before lockdown, the EP stood on, I think, 1,200 or 300 listens or streams all over. It's now on 2,500, and I haven't done really any extra marketing.
Yes. So how did that come?
Dude, I don't know. Maybe it's with like with the live streaming thing on Facebook as well. Like I said yesterday to a buddy of mine, it was the weirdest thing ever. Like with these watch parties on Facebook, people can use their mics to speak to you, and only you can hear it. I disabled it later, but this one Italian dude made a watch party, and like he kept speaking, and I had to mute him quickly. But like I'm thinking like it was a bit of the live streams where people all over the world watch me, which is still really weird for me. I didn't even know I had more than like 10 listeners. And then like also like these pages and everything, and also like whenever I went and did the live streams, I always made sure if I play one of my originals, I say, hey, I had an EP out, go check it out, let's get the thing up. And I also believe in like, I use influencers as well. So when the EP dropped, I have 2 or 3 influencers who do it totally for free for me.
Yeah.
They just put like my stuff on there, and then whenever I have merch, I'll send them merch.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, it's who you know.
It is who you know. This is a weird industry though. Like
It's a fucking hard industry to be in, and I mean, I'm sure out of your 2,300 odd streams, you've probably made what, like $1?
No, out of 5 streams, I've made about $7 or $8.
Ooh, there you go.
Since I don't have a tax number, they take American tax because DistroKid's an American company.
Yes.
And then out of that American tax, I get about like $2 or $3.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're getting screwed over, and there's no contract that ever tells me, hey, I'm gonna receive this little amount of money when you sign up for Spotify. I'm not in it for the money.
Yeah.
But I would like to use my royalties and say, hey, let's go to studio, guys. It's my royalties.
You're gonna need quadruple the amount of streams to be able to afford studio time.
Dude, and the weird thing is, like, I have to share royalties on the song Scary Shit with my bass player and my drummer, but there was nothing to share with them. Like, I can't go to them and go like, hey guys, here's $2 to $3, let's split it, you know. You can't do that. I'm gonna get stoned if I do that.
Yeah, I know. Look, I do distribution for bands, and I know I also use DistroKid, and I've made that perfectly clear to all the bands that I deal with, that's who I use, because they are the easiest platform. They make it very easy, very simple, and they are by far the cheapest one. But yeah,
what plan are you?
Label, obviously, because I've got more than 5 at the moment, and I've got another 2 in the pipeline that I'm working on. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'm on Musician Plus, so I can add another project if I want to.
Yes,
this is better because with Musician Plus, you can like set your dates out.
Yes, yeah, with the label as well. You can say who the label, the recording label, and you can set your dates and your own pricing plans and all that sort of stuff. So yeah,
I like that. You know, if the cheap option isn't the best.
Yeah, I think that's for up and coming. You know, just test the waters, see if it works, that kind of vibe. But no, it is good. There was another one. There's another one that I was when I was getting back into this again, and I was looking for platforms, and I think it was 1 RPM is another one, but they don't distribute to Asia and China, which is a big market.
Yeah, they're against them.
Yeah.
For some reason.
Yeah, for some reason.
But there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of people against China now. Like, dude, try getting a webcam from China, or try getting like I ordered a digital mixer from Musiekwereld in Belleville.
Yeah.
And Behringer, they're like HQs in Japan. Now the South African embassy banned any product that's coming in from like China or Japan for some reason.
What the fuck for?
I don't know. Like, the ban is getting lifted in this month, but like, say my mixer is sitting in the harbor somewhere probably and getting rust on it, but Musiekwereld borrowed me like so I ordered a 12 channel, the X Air, the digital one, and they gave me the 16 to borrow, and I used it at a gig in the Spur the other day. Yes, I played the Spur.
Dude, don't you worry about that, Because let me tell you something. David,
Yeah.
the lead singer of Lithium, back in the
Yeah.
early 90s, that was his gig. Was at a
Really?
Spur doing acoustic, and that's where he started, man.
Dude, but the money is there. Like, so what we do is we take, so it's a community project of mine where it started out with me and another dude called Justin Hoskin first. Great guy. And we play for, so Spur gives each artist 500 Rand, and we can take tips as well. So when Justin was playing, I went around with like this emerki and
Yeah.
took tips, and we made good money, dude. Like I said to him the other day, a guy that's sitting in Spur isn't affected by lockdown.
Yeah.
If he can go to the Spur and order a burger, a beer, and a glass of wine and ribs or whatever for his wife,
Yeah.
he can afford to give us a 20 Rand tip. And
Exactly.
the tips were small amounts, like 10 and 20 Rands, but still.
That all
like,
adds up, man.
We were shocked. We were like sitting there and we were going like, whoa, this bucket is full. Like, dude, do you see what I'm seeing? Am I dreaming?
Yeah.
Like, because I've played a lot of busking gigs, and nowhere near as good as we did there.
Yeah. No, it's David did exactly the same thing, and I think it was every Saturday or every Sunday. You would be there, or whenever the hell he played. I don't know, maybe it was more than once, but we all all the fans of the band Lithium, you all used to go and park off at the Spur, order some chips, onion rings, have a beer, and then just enjoy the music and good vibes. As long as we kept ordering food, the people at the Spur were happy. It's almost like a little private gig almost towards the end, because he was so popular and the band was so popular. But that's a good way to make income, man.
Yeah, the Spur now has a big problem with like, so we have like the capacity rule now with COVID.
Yeah.
So they can operate at 50%, which means instead of 200 people, we can be 100 people in there with social distancing and everything. But if you sit at the table, you don't have to wear a mask in any restaurant.
Yeah.
Which is super weird.
Yeah.
But like we do, so we can only allow like 100 people in, and 100 people gets quick to like full, because I did aggressive marketing on that thing. Like I made a Facebook ad, I posted every day 2 videos about the thing, and like there was a massive queue, dude, and it just opened my eyes. And like I got DMs from like my chommies who never come to gigs.
Yeah.
And they were like, dude, we had to leave because the queue wasn't getting shorter. And like I asked him how many people was in the queue, and I like 5 or 6 families. I was like, jeez, okay.
Suck it.
And they were all coming for live music, so it's a good thing for me.
Yeah.
As I wouldn't call myself an events planner because this is a community project. So, but as somebody planning something, it's kind of a good thing.
How many? Okay, let's put it this way. How many Facebook likes do you have
on the page?
Yeah.
I think about 300, 400 there around. I'm not
sure. Okay. All right. So I mean, it's not too bad. It does. Is it a? Do you find like, I'm just trying to think of the right way of putting this. Do you find like doing social media marketing is going to help? Or do you find people just like, clicking a like for the sake of, somebody recommended the page and like just not being interested in it?
Dude, so you're speaking to a dude that's actually studying digital marketing.
Oh, you see now, there we go. Okay, great. So you tell me then.
So I don't agree with the whole social media thing in the band things. In the music industry, it's getting used so wrong. Number one, they're not using ads correctly. They're not using the platform correctly. Like there's, oh gosh. Okay, the people who do Instagram right, and bless him, is Marcel from Bloemhoort. He does social media brilliantly. He's funny, he's informative, and he is socially correct or politically correct on social media, which I love. Where you get these bands like, oh gosh, the Commercial Oaks, I want to slap them. Now they're gonna go and they'll put any racial thing they think of on there.
Yeah.
Or they'll make them. They think their social media is not a business page.
Yeah.
It's a personal page where I can share about my dochtertjie and about my whatever. Now that's great. Frans van Kyk does it excellently as well. But I think Wynand more helps him there. But like still, he has a post about his wife. He has a post about his daughter every now and then. And then it's mostly music. my friend Tian, who also is also one of my influencers, like he does it extremely excellent with his girlfriend. Like, so he's a fitness influencer, and like, so out of every 7 or 8 posts, there's one post about his girlfriend. That's it.
Right.
And the rest is about his business and his sponsors, and then yet again his girlfriend. And that's how you're supposed to use social media. You have to have aesthetic. You need good content. You don't. No, it's not a political party or political
platform or whatever.
Where you can go and talk about the ANC and the EFF and the DA. They all irritate me as well.
Yeah.
I have a personal Facebook to do that.
You see, that's exactly what I do. I don't. My lone wolf stuff is just purely based on the podcasts and the music and musicians, and that's it. My personal one, every now and then I'll post something personal. But I got tired of social media at one point. I found it so draining, so demanding. It was like, I got to the point when I had friends that I didn't even know.
Yeah.
I use friends in the, the inverted commas, like friends, not really. I don't know them from fucking Adam.
Same on my Facebook is now bombarded with people I don't even know, and I'm slowly deleting them off. But, speaking on social media, can I just tell you who has excellent PR skills?
Go on.
Steve Hofmeyer.
Is it?
So what he does is he makes, for the 2 weeks before his album drops, he'll go and make a racial fight on Twitter, and then 2 weeks later, when everything dies down, he'll make one more racist post, and then the post after is like, hey guys, go to Musica, my album just dropped. Like, it's brilliant, dude. I wish I thought of that. Like, but it's not the best way to do shit, because
because you're alienating yourself as well. Yeah.
The thing is also he's not getting work, and like Marcel from Bloemert and I spoke on this. Like, we made him and I both made a Steve Hofmeyer joke on our band's profiles, and we both deleted it because like we were like, okay, wait, we can't really screw with this dude's fan base, because I actually have received like threats from when his son like is hectic. So, but that's another conversation. Like, it's not too important. Like, but his sons are like out of control.
Really?
Yeah, dude. You should actually go and look at. I'm actually scared as a person studying digital marketing. We had to like go and we had to choose somebody for like a class assignment that didn't count marks who we think needs to do better social media, and I took Steve and his sons, because like not Armand, but like the one that's an actor, I think Vannie is his name or something, and like Steve, because it's so much racist posts and everything. But like going back to social media, the dangers of it, dude, like look at this whole thing that's happening now at the Click store.
Oh, for God's sakes, yeah.
I'm so scared of what can happen there.
But you see, the social media, I find, tends to manipulate the readers.
Yeah,
And it's basically hate speech, because it's getting people all riled up. I clicked past a post yesterday, and it's probably a minute of my life I'll never get back. And it just happened to come up on my feed. And I was like, why the fuck is this horse shit up? And it's all about the BLM. And it's like, I've actually got people that I know that say all lives will matter only when Black Lives Matter. But hang on now. Okay, you're actually being a racist now, because you're a racist towards everybody else's race only because you want Black lives to matter. I can understand your point of view, but you're being like the opposite of racist. And I'm like, and you try and get through to these people, and it's somebody that I know, and they just can't see the shit for the trees. You know what I mean? It's like they're so blindsided by everything that's happening outside in social media that they just don't get it. And then this post came up, and it was just like, do you want to know why we're pissed off? And it's all these white cops beating up Black people. And I'm like, where the fuck?
I saw it.
Where the fuck does this come from? Why is this on my news feed? Yeah, you saw it, right? It's a minute, 2 minutes, whatever.
Yeah, I got more. It wasn't really a death threat, but it was like somebody telling me to go like,
fuck yourself.
And I was like, yeah, no, it wasn't that blatant.
Yeah,
like,
go kill yourself. I mean, that's wonderful.
Like it was like a 13-year-old, and I was like, so I made this whole post with the black poster that's saying, if you ever come to one of my shows, no matter if you're gay, if you're trans, if you're lesbian, if you're bi, if you're pan, whatever you are, if you're bloody pink and blue, I'll accept you in.
Yeah.
I'll even let you come have a beer with me. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't say it in so many words, but I said, no matter what you are, who you are, whatever you are,
Yeah.
you can come.
Yeah.
As long as you're not a homophobe, a racist,
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
transphobe,
Yeah. Whatever. Yeah.
or projecting hate on
Yeah.
another human
Anything
being,
that's hate. Yeah.
you can come. And then I got this, and I put in bold underneath, like, if you're against what I said, or you hate other human beings for being themselves, please go block me or unfollow me and never speak to me again.
Yeah.
And then, like, I got this 13-year-old. It was probably a troll, but like, he's like, yeah, you're this and this and this, and like, I was like, okay, dude, have a nice one, and I blocked him.
Enjoy your life. Fuck off.
But
yeah.
that's the dangers of social media, and nobody.
Well, it is, because it gives people a platform to be try and be a hero and a big man or a big girl or a big whatever in front of behind a keyboard and a screen.
But how screwed up is Facebook at the moment? Like, I don't know if you saw it. I screenshotted the cigarettes that's still on Marketplace, but and then Wade from that shoots Fok of Police car photos, you know, Wade Flower, that's his name. And he got most banned for trying to sell that one dude's organs as a joke, for a day, but it was a joke. They went drinking most and whatever, and like, as a joke, he tried to sell the dude's organs, and it was a big laugh, but he got banned for 24 hours off Facebook, so he couldn't like or comment, but he can see what's going on Facebook.
Yeah.
And weirdly enough, that same week, so I do disinfectant fogging, for against the coronavirus and stuff. I'm one of the.
Oh, I saw the video that you did for the spa, your local spa, right?
Yeah, we did it for 4 spas in the northern suburbs. But
okay.
Anyway, and I like put the flyer up on neighbor who works for us. He has this. It's called the Cannon. I think it's called the Cannon. We call it the Cannon, but it's like this big machine, and it has like this big metal nozzle. It looks like a gun, but it's not a gun.
Right.
It's actually the nozzle looks like a machine gun's nozzle, but it's not.
Okay.
And it's a petrol-filled machine. And then Facebook flagged my post for saying picture contains imagery with person holding a weapon.
But is it Facebook or is it somebody reporting the post?
I'm not sure. What we had a chat with it with like with the CIO said like also that it could have been somebody reporting me because there's so many people doing disinfectant fogging at the moment. But he thinks more or less like because weirdly enough, we tried to get some of our products on Takealot, and like Takealot flagged it as hazardous chemicals, not, and he had to just go like, it's a computer obviously, and he just had to go file paperwork and everything.
Yeah, to make it right.
But weirdly enough, like we have all the paperwork for the machines, for the it's not a chemical, it's a concentrate we use, of HCl. We have all that paperwork. So I was like, okay, wait, I'm gonna go and try and like dispute this flag. And I try and dispute it, and I get everything that my dad emailed me, and I put it in, and like I got banned for 12 hours off Facebook.
But I got banned the other day for, I think it was for like a couple of hours, and all I did was inviting people to your page.
Yeah, there was a
that's
glitch
fucked
in the
up.
Facebook thing. Like I do my church's online market. So since COVID hit, they're not allowed to do their winter market. So like everything that's that's at a winter market is now an online store, which is wonderful when you look at like the sales and everything, and like how people, which are really like our demographic is older people, and like they're actually using an online store. And like I made a post, and since I'm one of the admins, and there's four admins, which is the people I work for, or the rest, and then it's me. And weirdly enough, one of them received like a claim, like we went against community standards. I think it was me who received. I'm not sure, but I can remember I looked at the picture the other day. I think it was myself actually that got it, and said like we were advertising unknown products and was a pot of jam. That's how screwed it is. But do you experience it with music at all?
I haven't, thankfully, not yet. I'm sure it will probably come.
So in one of my live streams, I got kicked off of the live, like literally 2 minutes before I was supposed to like end the live, because I only play for like 45 minutes. I didn't want to bother people for too long with my music, so
Yeah.
I play for 45 minutes. That's it.
Yeah.
And in the middle of the song, I get kicked off.
Why?
For I was playing a cover song of, I think it was Knocking on Heaven's Door, but
Right.
it was like it was my last ever live stream, before like getting back to reality. But still, like, it was so weird, dude. Like, imagine I want to test it once again, playing like one of my songs and checking if it will.
But do the same thing, yeah.
Yeah, this tricky doesn't flag YouTube videos with my songs in.
No, but you can select that option though, can't you? It's
Yeah, but it's expensive.
I was just gonna say it's ridiculously expensive. It's like $15 a year or something like that.
Is it so expensive?
Yeah.
What's the feature for if you die? What they call it? Leaving
Oh,
a
legacy. That is crazy expensive.
Have you used it?
No.
I want to check it out, but apparently you can't use it unless you have proof that you're dying. I'm not kidding, dude. One of my friends told me about it.
Oh shit! There's actually you must actually do a search for on YouTube for DistroKid. DistroKid screwed me or something like that.
Oh,
And some
Swedish
of the
dude.
I'm not sure. No, it's an American dude that I was looking at, and he goes through what he went through, and I was like, "Fuck, do I really want to go back to DistroKid after watching this?" But then I thought, I've used them for so many years beforehand, and there was never a problem. So yeah.
But out of all the people, they're the best, but they have ridiculous shit. They screw up, but they fix their screw up. Like they like screwed up my one release date. So what happened with this EP was it released in 6 March, but the original date was Valentine's Day. As a joke, but because it's an album about like self-love and like all the weird shit that happened about me, and it's releasing Valentine's Day. What a happy album to release on Valentine's Day. And but anyways, and I get a week before Valentine's Day, I'm on my first year's camp for at the college, like I can't remember where we were, somewhere in Franschhoek, but like or no, Verliersdorp somewhere, but I received this email. It's like, hey, we screwed up the release date, please choose a new release date. And luckily I didn't do any marketing before that. I kind of forgot the EP is releasing soon. I forgot about it.
Yeah, no, DistroKid I can say that some artists come to me and say, can I get this done in a week, release the song in a week? And I'm like, well, let me tell you what. Yeah, no, it's exactly what happened with the band that I did a podcast with last night, Jackal the Bones. They wanted something done before the end of August. Yeah, so they're with me now. So I said to Leeton, look, dude, DistroKid told me 4 weeks to prepare everything, to have everything released on exactly the same date at all the stores. Okay, that's standard, regular. And we did it in 24 hours. DistroKid actually came to the party and did it in 24 hours. And I was amazed. Thankfully, I think it makes a difference if you're releasing a single as opposed to doing a full album, like 14 tracks or whatever. I think then they...
I know somebody with an EP of 4 tracks who got it in 2 days.
Yeah. It actually happened in 24 hours for us. So we were... Maybe it was just a really slow day at DistroKid, but we were really, really, really lucky. But but they're slow with the whole Corona thing. Like, it's kind of an excuse now. Like, the new normal made a lot of excuses for companies. Yeah, I don't know, dude. I think I look at my social medias and I just see Corona this fucked that up and everything. But in essence, yes, if you've got a physical place to go and work and Corona's there, then yes, it has stuffed you up and it because you can't go or whatever. But in my business where everything is digitized, it actually hasn't changed anything. And okay, let me put this straight. I'm a white, unemployed, older man, close to 50, living in South Africa. Now, you tell me any more place that's more fucked up than that.
Yeah, dude. I'm a white student, dude. Like, there's like so many things. Like, I was looking at bursaries the other day, And like weird enough, my one like colored friend sent it to me, and he's like, dude, check how screwed up this is. Like it's excluding you. Like there's one link that said only black people allowed to apply.
Yeah.
I was like,
It's
how
the new
racist
South
is
Africa,
that?
isn't it? It's what it is.
But it's also like the one ad I was looking at was it was something about Corona changed everything for us. So we're only allowing X amount of white, X amount of Indian, X amount of black, X amount of colored people to apply.
Really? Wow.
But they're not showing you like how the figures went up and down. I eventually didn't apply, but like I didn't want to waste my time, if you know that. But weirdly enough, speaking on like the new normal for music, like for me, it's a weird thing going live on Facebook.
But isn't it something that you should have used, anywhere? You know what I mean? It's like you kind of been musicians and artists have been forced to go the online route. If you were marketing savvy or market savvy, you would have done that anyway.
Yes and no. So for marketing wise, I'm not that big, and I didn't have experience till this year when I started studying and everything, and actually working with like a church market stuff and everything. So weirdly enough to me, like I did lives, but I only went live on Instagram. Like, but weirdly enough now in this COVID time, when I go live on Facebook, it's probably like my mom and dad's friends and their friends and their friends like watching. But I get more views on a Facebook live now than on an Instagram live I've ever had. Like I opened for Sunset Sweatshop last year while Sunset was busy sound checking. I have this clip of like Victor playing a drum solo. So I think they were just checking his drum mics, but he was playing a solo. And I just wanted to like show like my people, hey, I'm here at Bertie's.
Yeah, this is what's going down. Yeah.
Pull in. Yeah, we still have tickets left. Come in. And I was too lazy like to use my phone's camera, so I just went live. And eventually, like, I got that, and I only had like 9 or 10 people on there, and I saved the live video on Instagram as a story, and it did quite well. Well, I wasn't certain if I did that on Facebook how well it would have done. I want to check now if a live gig ever hits again, which will probably be in 2 months or a month, I think. I'm not sure. I haven't checked my calendar.
So when you're saying about 2 months, you're going to be doing gigs again.
So I have started. I've started
okay. Sorry.
with the Spurfing Moss, and
yes,
then but that's more community project where I'll play every once and again on the lineup. I'll probably be on November's lineup because the next one is in October, where we already have one artist booked with, which is Alana Joy, which is a really cool artist. And we're looking to book a second act, which we're not sure of who it is going to be. But I'm planning to get back in October to November. I have to do November because there's a single dropping in November. So
do we know what's it called? Can you say?
Onrus 2019. I think I did send it.
Oh, you did send it to me. Okay. Oh, that hasn't been released yet.
No.
Oh, so that was a bit of an exclusive for me.
Yeah, dude, as long as you don't share it with anybody.
Oh, it might be on this podcast.
It's okay, it can be.
It'll be in the background, don't worry. Yeah, nobody will be able to rip it.
No, it's fine. So it's on Facebook Live as well. Like,
okay.
It's not that exclusive of a song. I wrote it in lockdown. While I was just like, it was so depressing for somebody who like doesn't have a lot of friends like myself. I grew up in high school. Like I matriculated last year, but in high school, like in grade 8, I had this big group. In 9th grade, it got smaller. And in 10th grade, when everybody started doing underage drinking, like you heard on the Scary Shit, the song, I didn't do it. And my other friend Tian didn't do it. And like, we got excluded from the group, like a lot. And we were left like with just us two being friends and like another dude. And like, it was really weird and awkward. Some breaks I would sit on my phone just and do work or whatever, you know? So it's more about realizing, okay, I don't have a lot of friends, but I need to go look back what was a good time. And the song's about Onrus in my matric weekend. And, you know, Onrus is a small town, like there's not a lot to do. So, and matric weekend is only like excuse to party.
Yeah.
but like it was hectic for us because we were like everywhere in Onrus.
Yeah, my folks used to live in Onrus, so yeah, I know the
Oh
place.
yeah,
I know it very, very well. Yeah, we used to
yeah,
go there. So we used to go there as kids back in the 1970s and 80s.
yeah.
So
They
yeah,
thrive now they thrive in December's for one weird reason. I don't know why, but beginning December they're busy. Then middle December they're quiet, and then like after Christmas you can't
but it's
move
also
unless there's the locusts
also
come.
whale season time as well. So
Is it? We didn't see any whales, and we were like at the beach one full day.
yeah, but you see, it depends where you go. On Ross Beach, or if you go to
Yeah,
Amarnas. Amarnas, you go over the cliffs area, you'll find great views to look at whales. But
yeah,
you won't get them in December. I think it's
yeah.
like September, October, or something like that. The whales come. I'm not sure. I stand to be corrected, but yeah, yeah. We found it when
Yeah.
we were living in, well, not living, but we used to go visit my folks a hell of a lot on Ross. The 2 seasons, and the one was a whale season in December, and we never ever went there again during those times. It's just absolutely nuts.
Yeah, there's a lot of tourists. Like, we went to this pub called Goddard's, but we call it Goddard's, like,
Yeah,
because it's just easier to say. And
yeah.
it's apparently the dude's surname that owns it, which is weird, but still. Um, like, I've never been to a pub where the pub's name is the dude's surname. So, and like, while we sat there, we were always near one of the windows because the place was like really humid, and we were like sitting there, and like we looked into this one room. It was just Americans and like British people like sitting there. It's like thinking, why are you coming to Onrus like on your South African holiday?
Yeah,
I have nothing to do here.
surely there's other places to go to, but I guess maybe they were just stopping over on a tour. Maybe, I don't know, whatever.
Probably like it, but they were a huge group. Like Onrus is such a weird place, and like everybody like just comes and joins you there. Like we were sitting one day at this restaurant, and this one, well, not my group of friends. I went with other friends that were also in Onrus, and like this like 2 European dudes joined us, and they were like, hey, we want to know more about South African Afrikaans. I was like, oh, they're gonna pickpocket us, and like, maybe they won't. But like, that's the one thing of being South African. Like, if you see something that's that shady, you know you're gonna get pickpocketed. And I've been pickpocketed.
Yeah, I guess we're pretty used to being taken advantage of. Like, this conversation can get very political very quickly, I think. So I think we'll avoid it.
Yeah,
So you're saying you only matriculated last year?
yeah, dude. And I was in Belleville High, the same high school Frans van Cooke was in.
Right. Okay. And you're studying social media, or what is it? Social
Yeah,
marketing, digital
digital
marketing.
marketing. I just say marketing when people ask me that. Like, when my dad's friends ask me, what are you doing? I was like, marketing. I'm not going to explain what, but marketing.
Yeah. So I mean,
It's so hard to explain it.
But Corne, what is the plan then? I mean, this is interesting because, like I was saying earlier, I'm nearly 50 and unemployed. How is this going to play out for you?
I've got no idea. So I actually had little ambition with my life. I know I want to be a musician. I just don't know how I'm going to achieve what I want to achieve. So it's more like whenever I do book gigs and I do it very professionally, it's like, hey, I winged it, and I winged it pretty good.
Yeah.
And then also going into the workforce, I'll always have a job in social media. There's a lot of jobs, weirdly enough. And then like I'll just get a day job, and then in the evenings I'll play music. You know, there's nothing that's gonna stop me.
What happens if it gets to a point where it's like, okay, the music is becoming more and more a thing? How are you going to balance? How would you balance that out? You know, you say like play gigs in the evenings and stuff like that. You know, as you get older, you get slower. Just remember that. Take my word for it.
That is true. That is true. I've seen a lot of older musicians gotten slower over the years as I've known them. But definitely musicians, being a musician, you have your busy season, which is summer and spring, and a bit of like autumn, and then like winter is a dry spell if you're a rock or alternative artist.
But do you consider yourself a rock alternative artist though? Because your music doesn't come across like that completely, at least not in the EP.
What
except for one song.
what would you say it is?
Okay, now
I've been getting that a lot.
we've had this discussion
Yeah.
couple of weeks back off air, and I was like, well, fuck what other people say, just be you.
Yeah, I would say I'm alternative to extent, yes. If the full album comes out, you'll see like, okay, there is actually more of an alternative side to you, to me, sorry. And like if you look at whenever I play like a set, you won't hear me singing like shitty on the radio. You would hear me sing like Johnny as he do it nie and hy sê
Yeah.
van die see.
Yeah.
Of hy sê by die see, and like I play like Basket Case and Wicked Game and like all the alternative stuff people want to hear.
Yeah.
But never get heard at like whenever I play gigs, like wherever, people always come to me like saying like, dude, you've played all the songs I've ever wanted to hear on a set. I'm like, mission accomplished. When I played the Sunset gig, I played a lot of 90s and 80s music and a couple of my stuff. That whole crowd I got singing, and I wasn't even the main act. Like
getting them warmed up ready. Yeah, nice. Okay.
Dude, I think they were already bottom when I got there.
Yeah, well, geez, yeah, absolutely.
The pub,
yeah. I was going to say that you know the whole digital marketing, social media marketing, or whatever you want to call it. But how do I would imagine now there's a hell of a lot more people looking for somebody that can do that for them, like you say,
yes.
influencers and so on.
Yes, and also like now my brother is a digital marketer as well, and he's a freelance guy more. So he started working for the infamous Willem Breitenbach. We're not gonna go out on him. And then like he started copywriting, so he just did a lot of copywriting on websites, and like he now does it, and he has like big brands. So like obviously with the bigger brands, yes, you'll get a lot of work if you're good.
Yeah. But how do you set yourself apart though from the shitty ones to be a better one?
You have to go and look at what type of content is thriving these days. Like I have kind of a idea what is working and what isn't, and like sometimes what I think is working isn't actually working. So it's more like a hit and run type of thing. Some balls you're gonna hit, some you're gonna miss, you know. And also like weirdly enough, my dad also builds like because he's an events organizer, but during the lockdown thing, we did distribution and we did disinfecting fogging, and he had a media solutions company. And like the people come who want websites built, because that's also what the digital marketer does. They build WordPress websites and stuff like that.
Oh, you use WordPress? What's wrong with Joomla?
Nah,
I'm old school.
I haven't used Joomla.
See, I'm old school. I quite like Joomla. I've looked at WordPress and I was like, yeah, I don't like the layout of it. Joomla just gives you, well, in my opinion, it's just
WordPress integrates with a lot of plugins. So
I will say, WordPress it's more open to that sort of thing. Definitely, yeah.
So you'll never like use the WordPress thing to like build everything. Like I think my older brother uses Elementor, which like builds, which works with your template you choose, and like you just set everything. Like a lot of the stuff we do is like template based, or like we'll build something from scratch. But like people don't want to give out 1,500 rand, which is actually cheap considered professionals then.
For a website.
Yeah,
that's fucking dirt cheap, bro. I used to charge anything between 3 and 5K.
Really? Like, but do you do maintenance then?
Yeah. Of course, absolutely.
I think ours is once off. I don't know. I'm not in that business. I think it's once off. But like, weirdly enough, in digital marketing sense, like one of my lecturers, we call him Mr. T. He works for like a couple of companies freelance. But he said in one of our lectures, it was like this open forum chat when we were still allowed back at the college before this whole lockdown thing. He was like, the weird thing you'll always get in the room is the people who want to like not pay you, and then the people who want to pay you but will question you so much that eventually they'll make you feel like inadequate, and then like you'll get the people who won't like even ask him questions and say go. And like we get that a lot, and like I've been seeing that also a lot, like with my digital marketing stuff. Like also when I do band stuff, my friends will like ask me, why did you make that post? Why'd you so they can fish out like how to do their social media.
Do you give them inside info?
Yeah, no, I'll
Is
tell
it-
them
Okay.
like they're useless with ads. Like I'll tell them like, so when I do an ad, if there's something like, okay, on the song I use acoustic guitar, so the keyword's going to be acoustic guitar, acoustic music, acoustic this, acoustic that. Use all the acoustic phrases you can, because you're making your net bigger that you can catch, and all of those things, you know. Like,
So
in
you're
music
saying
also it's weird.
so you're saying that the tags are really important.
No, definitely.
I'm fucking useless at tags.
But you with Facebook, you have the suggestion thing. Like I didn't always know, like with the church market thingy, I didn't always know what to put the tags on, like or the keywords on. And I'll go like, oh gosh, what can I do now? Then I go look at the product. Then you can go via category.
Right.
Then I see like, okay, this is a DIY product. Go to DIY. See like in DIY, what is all the subcategories?
Right.
And then I go on them and I use those keywords, and then I go like, okay, wait, now I have an idea. And then I'll type another keyword, and then
Do you think it's people are just fucking lazy? Because when it comes to posting, sometimes I get really lazy. Like, oh God, I've got to think about tags now. Does it really make a difference? I sort of become apathetic. I'm like, oh, just really, I've got 300 odd likes on my page. Am I going to get another 10 likes because I've tagged it correctly?
Yeah, dude, not necessarily. Like Facebook ads, like this is gonna sound very racist now, but it isn't. But with Facebook ads has a big problem in South Africa. When you set my stuff is international, but when you set an ad to only be in South Africa, you get a lot of like Zimbabweans and Nigerians.
Are you talking about paid ads now?
Yeah, paid ads.
Yeah. Now my wife
liking your stuff.
Yeah. My there was somebody. Wasn't my wife? Wasn't the warden? It was somebody else. That did a paid for ad or something like that, and it was all north of South Africa. Put it that way.
Yeah, dude,
and I just like really, are they gonna actually like my product or? Want to sign up for anything, honestly.
No, they're ghost profiles. They're ghost profiles most of the time.
Yeah.
I think like Facebook is like, has so much ghost profile. You should actually like, what's that app called? I think it's Find the Ghost. I'm not sure if it exists anymore, but it was an iPhone app. It like finds the ghost profiles on your Facebook and Instagram and deletes them.
Yeah.
Like you can look at any of them, and then like it's called a ghost follower. Like. Because like it's so weird, like I look at myself like last year I didn't know all this terminology. Now I'm like studying digital marketing and I've been doing.
It's obviously changed your view on social media and how it works, because you're getting sort of like
Definitely.
into depth quite deeply. But there was I was going to say I'm finding the same with YouTube. Like when I started this podcast, and I've mentioned this before in my previous podcast, I was like, okay, maybe the first 6 months I'll get maybe 100 subscribers. That'd be great, and then we'll work up from there, because in the ideal world you see all these people who are YouTubers that make money, and I said, well, maybe that's one thing I should look into, maybe making some money out of this, but it's fucking impossible. How do you get like 5,000 view hours or 9,000 view hours and 1,000 subscribers? I've only got 48 as of today. It's like,
dude, that's a question nobody knows. Like I did YouTube a while back and I did gaming on it. Like, geez, like I can already hear my friends like going back to those days. I don't want to remember those days, but anyways, like weirdly enough, it's what works on YouTube and what doesn't. Podcasts, weirdly enough, do and don't. And like some days, like it's all within their algorithm who it favors and who it doesn't. So it's the luck of the draw. If they like your content, if the algorithm likes your content, it will favor you. So, but not over like a short period of time. That's the weird thing. Like a friend and I have been talking about doing like a podcast, but we were like going like, should we use YouTube? Should we not? Should we like use Anchor? Should we not?
Yeah, well, that's funny you say that, because I started out with YouTube. And then I was like, well, how do I get my podcast onto iTunes and Spotify? And then I got to anchor.fm. So it's like, okay, well, they're free. They're not going to charge me anything. So,
how is Anchor though? Like, is it good?
Oh, yeah, it's awesome, man. It's they create like a little mini website for you. And it's literally you just basically upload the audio. There's no visual. It's just because my podcasts are audio and visual. So it's they distribute it to Spotify and to all these podcast places. It's on iTunes and Apple Music and everything like that.
Okay,
So
cool.
yeah, so I'm happy. I'm really happy. And the main thing about being why I use them was because I've got the software to edit it, my podcast,
Yeah.
and to make it a little bit more pro-like, if you can say that, with a fucking stupid, horrible microphone, because my main
It's
one's
not that
busted.
bad.
And and then just put it all together, and you just slap up the audio file, and then you just put some text in, and it sends it, and that's it. And if it just so happens that sometimes you might pick up a sponsor that can put their little advert ahead of when your podcast starts, that sort of thing. So, but I haven't received any of those yet. So,
But we're not, the monetization is not on in South Africa yet for Anchor.
it is.
I read about that.
It is.
Is it?
Yeah.
They on their website they advertise it's only for American based at the
Oh,
moment.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Which is really stupid, but they're probably not.
Oh no, you are right. Sorry, no, you are right, because you are right. I have seen that. They said you have to be based in America for now, because they ask you for your US tax and.
But you should actually just get a American friend or something and use their stuff.
Yeah, use their
totally legal,
location.
but it's not totally legal, but still the paperwork's there.
I've got family in America.
You can just say hey, he's part of the team or something like that.
Yeah.
No, don't do tax evasion. That's all I'm saying. Tax evasion.
Wait a minute. Are you promoting tax evasion? Bloody hell.
No. Dude, I actually tried registering my band at CIPC as a sole entity for some reason, just to have a tax number.
Yeah.
Then they told me you're not earning enough. It's not necessary. And I showed away.
But the music industry is fucked though. It is fucked because.
But do you think Corona was the last bullet in the music industry?
Oh, I don't think it's dead. I don't think it's dead by any stretch of the imagination. But I think it's well, certainly it hasn't helped the industry entertainment-wise for people to go and do things. But it's also enabled a lot of people that shouldn't be in the business be in the business. It's all very well creating music, but I'm old school, so fuck it, whatever. I just believe that a band should be not programming drums, but my eyes have been opened up with all the artists that I've spoken to. Have majority of them actually use programmed drums and things like that.
Worry.
Yeah,
I don't even use autotune.
Well, I agree with that. And like I say, the whole digitized world of music has changed so much so that people can sing completely flat and out of key and just press a button and boom, they sound perfect.
Yeah, but
I have a problem with that.
I worked as a bartender at in December last year at 2 festivals, and you can easily see who's a recording artist, as they call themselves, and who can actually do their shit live. Oh gosh, it was Afrikaans is groot, one in Mossel Bay, and the Alternatief is groot one. I worked as a bartender. During the Afrikaans is groot one, I wanted to cut my ears off when some of those artists were playing. Gosh, it's bad, dude. They're off key, or they're off tempo and off key, and it's bad. I can't play with a click. If you put a click down with me, I can't. I use a fake drummer's hi-hat thingy. Yeah. And for me, I can play with that. But as long as you put a metronome, I can't do shit.
But music is a feeling, isn't it though?
Yeah, it is. It's this whole when I went to record with my drummer, he was we need to get this perfect. I was no, we don't. It's about if it sounds good, it's good. It's if you're off the click on one bar and the next bar you're perfect, I'm not going to edit it. Just play. And that's the whole thing about music to me. It's let's make something that's perfectly imperfect.
Yeah,
you understand that.
But that's exactly what it is. I mean, it doesn't. Music is not meant to be perfect. It's meant to be suitable to the person that's listening to it. If they fucking love it, then that's awesome. If they don't, then
Yeah,
they don't. You know, millions of people
yeah.
like trance music and that sort of shit.
Oh, it's
I hate that
terrible.
sort of shit. I can't fuck that. To me is not music, but billions and billions of people love that stuff because they're mostly on acid and whatever else. But I mean, fucking
Yeah,
hell.
or they're drunk. They're drunk.
Yeah.
Like to me, I like that music when I add like 2 or 3 brandies in. That's all when I like that music. Like I've been to
No.
clubs with my friends and I hate that music. Like I'd rather sit in a noisy pub than go to a club where I can't hear myself and like everything smells like smoke and there's a shitty DJ playing.
I don't know how people talk to each other in clubs or
They
bars
don't.
and
They
stuff.
scream
I,
at each
I
other.
know, but I can't. People, I look. I swear to God, I'm turning into my old man or my mum. Because whenever I'm in a club or a pub and they talk to me, I'm looking at their mouths to figure out what the fuck they're saying because
I also do
I
it.
can't hear a damn thing, and I'm going and it's like they could be asking for a fucking blowjob or something. I'm going, yeah, sure, I can't hear a thing.
But it's like with me the same. Like I am a bit deaf from playing in bands and not watching my hearing and stuff. But like, dude, I had like I go in and put my ear closer to them, or like I'll watch their mouths like and like try and figure out what they're saying. I'll just go like, huh, what'd you say like 5 times in a row, and then they get super annoyed at me.
Dude, I'm just straight up honest with people now. When they start talking to me, I say, dude, I'm not gonna fucking hear a word you're saying. Don't bother.
Yeah,
I'll just shake hands, have a drink, look at each other, nod head, and that's it. Cool. I'm fine with that.
yeah, but the weird thing is like in pubs you can still hear yourself till a level. If there's live music, I can't hear you for shit. Like I'm not gonna focus on you. I'm very ADD as well, so like um I'm on medication, but like if the medication wears off, I'm everywhere.
Oh, really? Yeah. Sheesh.
Yeah, it's not that bad, but it's like it can get bad.
But how does that affect your music? Let's say the
Uh,
medication, you're not on the meds and you start doing music. Is it sporadic or is it brilliant or is it shit?
it depends, cause I mostly play gigs at night, so then the medication's off. I have to work on concentrating harder, yes, definitely. And like you can like see with me when I lose focus, and then I'll quickly like get myself back in order. But it is definitely like trying to figure out how I'm going to like make it. But it's also not a crippling thing. Like a lot of people say, like, oh, being ADD means you're addicted to concentration meds. No, it's not. It means like I can actually like not take my medication. And I've actually written a test and passed with excellent marks while not having my medication
Right.
like in me. Like so, it's definitely like it helps in the long run, and it helps like me to focus. But it's
Do you,
not
do,
that
do you ever like
bad.
say to yourself, let's not take the meds for a week and write an album and see what happens, see what comes out?
I want to like, but I think it's going to be like so car. Like
But you
I
never know.
want to,
There might just be that little,
but there's side
little
effects of
diamond in the
doing
rough
that.
somewhere.
Yeah, but there's the side effects are too. So when you go off concentration meds, they have to gradually do it. So I'm on
Right. Right.
52
Okay.
milligrams Concerta. So what if they ever do want to take me off of it, um, which shows there's a change in my diagnosis, which is very rare. But like they'll put me back on the 32 and then on the 16 and then on 0.
But is this, I'm old school again, okay? So just bear with me
Yeah,
and call me a dickhead or whatever. But this shit wasn't around when we were youngsters. There was no such
no,
thing as
that's true.
ADD and all that sort of stuff. It was just, okay, yeah, I know there's
It
been
wasn't discovered.
advance. Yeah, I mean, maybe there's advance in medicines and, and discovery and diagnosis and whatever else. But is it an actual thing?
It definitely is. It's not like a lot of kids get misdiagnosed because I'm not a doctor and I cannot speak on doctors' behalf, but
Yeah,
I
sure.
think there is a money making thing because concentration meds is shit expensive. It's like
Mm,
800 rand for Concerta,
yeah,
dude. It's hectically expensive. Ritalin's like 500 rand, and Ritalin's a zombie drug.
yeah.
So so I wouldn't like tell anybody to go on Ritalin, but like definitely there's so much misdiagnosis, and but for me to have gotten to be told I'm ADD, I've got traces of ADHD as well.
Right.
I'm
Okay.
more ADD. So so to get to the diagnosis, I was starting from like 8 years old till about the search for what was wrong with me got more intense when I was about 11 or 10 or 11, around there, to 12. I was diagnosed when I was 12, but still, like, you go from psychologist to child
But isn't that
psychologist
gonna fuck with
to
your head anyway? Going to these people, and
so
you
weirdly,
when you're 12 or 13 years old, I mean,
yeah.
you're not fully developed in your brain.
But the weird part was, like, when I was like 10, I went to this one lady, and I don't know how she's a doctor. I don't want to criticize her, but like, she actually told me, and I had this big mental block in my head, and it is a fear. I have a massive fear of failing because of her. Uh, but she said to me, like, if I ever make matric the first time, it will be a miracle, because I'll probably
Oh,
only make matric because of my diagnosis. And she diagnosed me,
sheesh.
or she wanted to diagnose me, and said I was dyslexic, which I'm not.
Whoa, fucking hell. I mean,
And
you could be in
then
a whole world of drugs and not where you are right now.
no, but luckily I had my parents who were like, no, he's not this, no, he's not. There's something wrong. That's not that with him.
But you
So
see,
then we went
that could have been disastrous for you, man.
dude, like, it could have been, but luckily my dad was on it, and he was like, no, he's not that. He's not dyslexic. He doesn't show the traits, because
Fucking
they read
hell.
up on it, and there was a show on CakeNet. I think it was called what was it? Anyways, it was this doctor, and he went and he did unknown child diseases in like two. It's not really a disease, but it's a mental illness
Mm,
in children. And he went to this one woman who had it since she was 12, and she was 20 at that time, and like, she had hectic ADD, and then like, they were like, oh, it could be that, and then they got me to a wonderful doctor called Dr. Tertius Christie at Durbanville Mediclinic, and like, he's wonderful in what he does, and he has ADD as himself, so
right. So he knows.
he knows that he's more ADHD, I would say, than ADD, but still, like, he knows how to work it. He knows the signs. He knows how it feels.
Mm,
It's not just another doctor, because I actually was at a other doctor before him, and just felt like they were talking, and they didn't really do like the tests he did. So when they test you, he played this clip of like a kid sitting in a classroom, and like the teacher's talking, and birds are chirping, and like the wind is blowing and everything, and then you have to say what you're hearing, and
right.
then he writes it down, and then he plays the second clip. He's like, are you sure you heard? Then the clip I heard and so the parts in the clip I heard was the wind and the birds, and then a bit of the teacher, and more the wind and the birds.
Right.
And then, like, okay, yeah, so you heard this more. And then he's like, okay, I think I know what's wrong with you. And then, like,
Wow.
you prescribed
Okay.
it, but there's dangers of ADD. So if you haven't gone through puberty, you can become depressed because of the meds,
Yeah.
which did happen to me. And then he took me off of it, and then he put me on something called Stratera. And then, like, after like, I think it was grade 8 or 9, I went back to Concerta, because the Stratera wasn't really working anymore. Like, that's the one thing with these drugs, like, they can stop working overnight,
Mm,
which is dangerous though.
yeah. Obviously.
Yeah, like
We
when
had a family member
yeah,
when he was a little kid. They were saying, no, you got to put you on Ritalin and all this sort of stuff. My brother, he just said, not a fucking chance. And he was on something. I'd have to speak to him again and ask him if it was Ritalin or something else. But eventually he went off it, because my brother was like, not a fuck. No ways. His concentration levels is so zombified, like you were saying earlier. He was like a
yeah,
zombie. You just look at him and he just wasn't there. And next minute took him off it, and boom, the O's a fucking legend
yeah.
now. So yeah, it just he can be so misdiagnosed, you know.
And it's dangerous. Like,
People are
party
sheeple.
on
That's the
Ritalin.
problem as well.
Yeah. Yeah, but people party on Ritalin. That's the hectic thing.
How the fuck can you party on being zombied out?
Dude, I don't know, but like you party, I haven't tried it, and I'm not going to try it. But like people party on that shit, and then like they experience some sort of high. But I'm like, it's not really fun to not be yourself, you know. And like it kind of robs you. Like we had a dude in 6th or 7th grade who was on a very strong doses of Ritalin. If he would not take his meds, he'd be all over the place. Like, dude, he can't sit still, he can't concentrate, he can't stop speaking, he can't do anything, like, because he's all over. And then when he has that pill in, he's dead. He's just sitting there.
Yeah, dude.
It's like
it's heavy.
Like,
Wow.
What's that cartoon? I think it was a Simpsons episode where they put Bart on Ritalin, and you just see him keeping on writing, talking to someone, keeping on writing, and that shows the dangers of it. But people still prescribe it. And there was a Facebook thread of it on some other group I'm in, and I was like, okay, let's not get involved in this because like I have my opinion, you have your opinion.
Yeah.
Like let's leave it there. But they are very dangerous. But at least I found something that works for me, and like I have to go once a year to the doctor for a checkup.
Right. Just see if it's worse or better or whatever.
Not really. So they just ask you like it is probably see if it's worse or better, but like it's more like to check like are the pills still working? Does he need a stronger diagnosis? Is he actually bettering that we can take him off it?
Right.
Because that's the plan. So how ADD works. It's a chemical imbalance in your brain. So that works with your memory and everything. So it's like it's a weird thing to like explain, but so he would always ask like I can remember the one is, do you feel you can survive without the pills? Do you feel you can or can't? Do you think you're dependent on it?
Right.
So it's like also to check if you're addicted or not.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I know of people who are addicted who can't go a day without it. Where if in a test series you can maybe call me like you would think I'm addicted because I'll be stressed out because test series are like you have to sit for 2 hours and write a test and like.
Talking of which, how was your test last night? Was it alright or yesterday?
It was yesterday. It was good. It was finance, dude, but it was good. Thanks for asking.
Cool, man.
That's another example. Like if I didn't have like the ADD meds, like I would be all over the place on that finance because there's so many numbers you had to like remember.
Yeah.
It was easy work, luckily, but still like it was hectic.
Cool, man. Well, look, Corne, we are coming to the end of our podcast time now. So we've actually gone over it by 15 minutes, or actually half an hour. So we've actually done pretty damn well. And it's very easy to talk to you, and I'll thank the pills for that.
Thank the pills.
No, yeah. So you say when's the next thing? October, November, thereabouts. The next song.
November. The next song is November the 6th, I think.
November 6th. Okay, cool, awesome.
Yeah.
So we'll post all the social links and everything to your page down in the description below, so people can click on that, like, love, share, and do whatever, and subscribe and everything like that. But Corne, it's very awesome to talk to you, and we finally got the podcast done.
Yes, but thank you for having me on, man. It was lovely speaking to you.
It's an absolute pleasure, man. Okay, Corne.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, what's the name of the band again? Kinders Vannie?
Kinders Vannie Suburbs.
That's a Kinders Vannie Suburbs. There we go. That's my best Afrikaans you'll get out of me.
That's fun, dude. It was actually good.
Thanks, man. Yeah, no, Afrikaans and me. Yeah, no, definitely not. Only time you'll hear me speak Afrikaans is when there's rugby on and I'm shouting at the screen.
No.
Kom by Stalbury.
Oh no, I'm a word. Most of these people are like that.
All right, Corne, man. Thanks for speaking to me, and I wish you all the best for the future, man.
Cool. Thank you for having me, man.
Not a problem, man. Keep well.
Good. Cheers, dude.
Cheers.